Hello guys and welcome to my first voiced video. I don't have a mic ATM since I'm stuck in quarantine, so you would have to bear with me. Let's just jump right in. I'll be explaining according to the CN version of the game, so there might be some units you might not recognize. Spoiler alert. Most 6 stars in the game have no loss after E2, but some might be better as your first E2, which is why I've split the rankings like so. I'll also be skipping the 2 and 3 stars. Let's start with our favorite donkey, Amiya. Amiya is a guaranteed 5-star caster and main girl, so if you can't pull Ejafyala, she is a good choice for E2. Next, Chen, pretty much requires E2 and Mastery 3 to function, so it's better if you E2 her faster to unlock her mastery potential. Sora is only as good as your best DPS, so you should only E2 her if you're done with your core team and your alternative DPS units. Ixu is one of the best ranged physical DPS in the game, so I highly recommend E2 for her S3, which seems little but actually has a lot more damage than S2. If you have Texas, her E2 is really good as a Vanguard since her sword range skill CD is massively reduced when you deploy her, and she gives 2 cost points at the start of the match. Franca is of the same subclass as Scatty and Melantha, but I would not E2 any of them since there isn't any real usage for them in late game content. Liskerm is a pretty good SP battery but she does her job well at E1 anyway, so I don't see a need for her E2 unless she's one of your only high star tanks. Silence is a really great early game healer, but gets outclassed by Shining and Nightingale in late game. I would leave her at E1 max unless you're planning to mastery her drone skill. 4 stars in general are at a very weird place with E2 because they don't gain anything upon E2, except for Myrtle, but they're able to be maxed out and masteried. Gitano is a very good early to mid game AoE caster if you don't have Ifrit. She even outclasses Skyfire in my opinion, but she's still usable at E1. Don't E2 Deep Color unless you're running a full summoner team, and even then I think you'll still get by with Mayor and Magellan. Siege is definitely a very good E2 to have, but not as important as other 6 stars, so we'll leave her at E1 until you've finished promoting your other 6 stars. Zima is also a very good E2 like Texas, but she's only used in high Vanguard comps to reduce Vanguard cost by 1. Myrrh and Gavial are both enough at E1, there's no need to E2 them. Shirayuki and Meteor are both quite okay E2s if you don't have their high star counterparts. Estelle is a really great option if you don't have survival guards like Spectre or Hell Aga, since she has self-sustain. Tilipsis should be one of your first E2s because of her SP regeneration. She reduces the time for 1 SP to 0.7 seconds on E2, so if your skill requires 30 SP, she cuts it down to 23 seconds, coupled with the fact that she's also a banging AoE healer, she's a priority. Blue Poison is a very good E2 choice for her Mastery 3 skill 1, which reduces the cooldown to 2 hits per double shot. Doberman can be shelved unless you're running full 3-star team, or else there are other guards you can use. Flamebringer in my opinion wastes any resources you spend on him, so he gets to sit in the timeout corner too, unless he gets buffed. Mei is a really cute fast sniper that can stun, so E2 her if you don't have high star snipers. Same goes for all the 4-star snipers TBH. Ifrit is one of the best AoE casters in the game, even with the inclusion of Mistima, so you should E2 her ASAP. Mistima is also a very good utility caster, she can push and stun, so you should E2 her as well for her skill 3, which is her pushback. Hojiguma is one of the best pure tanks in the game, she gets even more dodge at E2, which lets her survive shots that would kill her in CCB. Hunter is a fast attack type guard, but does her job well at E1, no need for E2. Lapland gets her 5-second silence upon E2, so she's basically spider proof and stun proof. Haze is a good option if you don't want to use Amiya, but also not a good option for E2. All AoE guards gets +1 block upon E2 and can ATK up to 3 enemies, so both Blaze and Scepter are good options to E2. Province, Executor, and Firewatch are niche snipers, so E2 them if you like their gameplay, otherwise you can leave them in the bunker. Nightingale and Shining are both referred in the CN community as the Twin Devils, and they are very useful and a great investment for later chapters like Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 where damage mitigation is needed. Nirl and Saria both are very good choices to E2 for CC, so E2 Nirl if you don't have Saria. Kiora and Matterhorn are pretty good early defenders, but they serve their role pretty good at E1 max, so if you pull a 5 or 6 star shield later in the game you can transition to that E2 instead. Courier and Scavenger are decent 4-star Vanguards, but they don't get anything from E2, same as Vigna. Myrtle and Elysium are a new brand of super fast CP regeneration Vanguards, and both are worth their E2. Elysium reduces costs and buffs snipers upon E2, and Myrtle gets passive heal for all Vanguards. Indra and Vulcan are two of the recruit-only units in the game, and I've heard from Indra players that she isn't all that good, but I'm really biased for Vulcan so build her if you get her. Nightmare is a very niche unit, I only recommend her E2 if you are playing push strats with Feeder. Skyfire is outclassed by Gitano at early game so I won't recommend her E2 as well. Warfarin is one of the SP battery healers, and she gains the ability to give 2 SP upon every kill in her range upon E2. Silverash is a must E2 for his skill 3, unless you don't like Silverash then you can bench him. Cliffheart, Rope Shaw, and Snowsand can all be kept at E1, the only E2 worthy displacement operators are Feeder and Weedy in CN, for their mastered push abilities. Permanix is not really worth E2 ATM because of a future operator called Shamare, which does her job but better. Ejafyala and Seob are two of the best single target caster, so E2 them when you can, Egia first. Perfumer is the only 4-star AoE healer so if you don't get Tilipsis or Nightingale you should E2 her. Sushiro, Salon, and Breeze are very weird units, I don't recommend their E2. Moose and Aesthesia have the same sub-class, which is consistent magic damage guard. If you have Aesthesia I highly recommend you to E2 her because she's pretty. Broca is also a magic AoE guard, and also very good upon E2. Helaga and Udige are survival heli drop units, so only E2 Udige if you don't have Helaga. Greythroat is the 5-star version of Exu, so E2 if you don't have Exu. Platinum is a very long-range sniper, a good choice for E2 if you don't have Blue Poison or Exu. Manticore and Ethan are all Block 0 units, but they do their job pretty well at E1. So if you E2 make sure you have the team to back it up. Sessa Meteorite and W are both AoE snipers, and get 5x3 range upon E2, so you should E2 the highest star AoE caster you have. Granny, Reed, and Bagpipe are all cost upon kill Vanguards, but E2 for Granny and Reed are a bit lackluster, you'd be better off waiting for Bagpipe. The CNY units, Nian, Ok, and Hung are all reliable units except for Hung. He's just a bit worse than Nirl because he has to get hit to Regan. SP Savage is one of those units that I don't recommend raising at all just like Flamebringer, because even Estelle beats her in stats after E2. Of the summon type operators, I only recommend Magellan's E2, which you can reference in my Magellan guide. Mare and Deep Color are too niche to raise. Waifu, Red, and Gravel all serve their purpose at E1 level 1, there's no need to E2. Except for Phantom, which is red and gravel and one with a bunch of CC. Grey and Lizzie are both AoE casters that can slow on ATK, but they're not useful in the current meta, which is why I don't recommend their E2. Duran AR and Bison are both free operators the game will give you, but while Duran AR is an offensive tank, Bison is a very good pure tank. Matoimaru gets outclassed by Melanthi and Franca as a block 1 guard, so I wouldn't recommend her promotion. Swire is also a vanity unit unless you're running a lot of ground units. Angelina, Istina, Earth Spirit, and Glaucus are all slow type supports, but I would only recommend Glaucus and Angelina for promotion. Swartz is a specialized sniper that can shred armor, and is really good against endgame bosses. Pure Stream is a new CN healer with the range and traits of Salon, and can actually heal on top of it, super good healer but no need for E2. I really recommend Bibix E2 since she can stack her CC skill, which allows her to disrupt the enemy animation quite easily and consistently. Conviction, Frostleaf, Cutter, and Side Roca are all good at E1. That's it for the video. If you have any questions, feel free to join my Discord or leave it in the comments.